Hello everyone and welcome to an Age of Empires 2 expert match with me, ZeroEmpires. It has been a little while since I've uploaded anything to this channel, and before we get into that, let's talk about what we have right here. It's DauT versus TaToH in a 1v1 on, of course, the one and only Arabia. This was played on DauT's stream the other day, and I saw this game and I thought it was pretty interesting, and you know, why not jump in, do an offline cast, and share it with the world. The reason I picked this game is because it's Spanish versus Turks. We have TaToH in the blue. He's playing to the north of the map as the Spanish. And down to the south in the red, it's DauT playing as the Turks. This is an unusual kind of matchup. You don't see this matchup all too often, especially now since there's 31 civilizations in the game, and you know, players are often taking random civs, but there's so many different combinations, and this one caught my eye. So we're gonna jump in and look at this one in more depth after we get a little bit further into the game. But first of all, I was watching DauT's stream because I was just in Serbia for a week, actually visiting DauT, and I was over there to do a super secret, top secret project, which you will all find out about in good time. But there's certainly something to look forward to, which is going to come out of my trip to Serbia. I actually had an amazing time. DauT was a fantastic host, and really Belgrade, which is the capital city of Serbia where DauT is living, is a beautiful city with a lot of history, and they had this really awesome fortress where you could see over the two rivers where they join, and it was an amazing view, amazing weather, and from what I can see, DauT is living a pretty good life over there. So I was watching his stream, and I stopped by to drop a donation over there because you know, he paid for a lot of the stuff in my journey over there, and I wanted to say thanks. So when I was doing that, I saw this game, and as I say, I want to share it with you guys. So another reason why I've not really been around so much recently, and you may be wondering where I've been. I've actually been working extremely hard, putting in the time, doing the hours for the ECL. What is the ECL? Well, if you haven't heard of the ECL already, it's the Escape Champions League. It's a tournament which I am responsible for, as well as Robo, who's helping me to organize it and run it. And it's a $60,000 Microsoft-sponsored Age of Empires 2 event, which is going to be featuring the top 8 teams over the next year. So it's a huge deal. There's a huge amount going into it, and I've just spent so much time organizing and getting everything prepared for this tournament that I haven't really had much leftover time to cast games or make videos, since that's quite time intensive as well. Now I want to drop some links below this video. You'll be able to find all the information about the tournament there, but that's the reason, and I'm gonna try and find some more time now that the tournament's underway. Now there's less preparation to do to actually cast some games and make some more high quality videos for you guys. So TaToH coming in with his scout. He's gonna see what he can find. DauT, on the other hand, keeping his scout at home. He's pushing in the deer. It's absolutely worth pushing those deer when they're so close, and there's such a unobstructed route from the deer patch to the town center. He's taking his sweet time, pushing all 4 of those deer in for that nice eco boost. All that extra food means he doesn't have to go to farms quite so quickly, and he can then do a lot more. So he has more options available to him in the feudal age. So he sees nothing. I mean, we'll go on DauT's point of view right now, and you'll see, you know, he's really not gone much further past the halfway line on the map, and he's very much playing in the dark, so to speak. We can see, however, that both players doing Loom right now. They should be clicking up at a pretty similar time. Looking at TaToH, we can see his scouting right now. Got a good idea where that lumber line is on the right side. He sees the main gold of DauT as well, and he's heading back home with his scout right now, maybe to consider pushing some deer as well, which we can see just close to his mill. So certainly a decent position there to push some deer. Now, it seems like my overlay's kind of gone weird, and, you know, I should know how to fix this, but it's been a while, and to be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure how to fix this right now. Right, so thanks to the power of video editing, I've been able to figure out how to fix this. So, as you can see, both on 20 villagers right now, both going up to the feudal age within a second of each other. It is very close, and this gives us a quick opportunity to look at the maps. You can see right now that TaToH's got the back goal. He's building a mining camp on that with 2 villagers there, so potential for some man-at-arms, but if he was doing that, he would have started creating the militia already. What's typical for the Spanish is to see scouts, and he's gone back to push the deer, so it does seem like that's going to be on the cards for TaToH. He's also got this nice back wood line, and well, the only disadvantage, I suppose, or the only problem with this map that I'm really seeing is the stone, which is quite far forward, and at least to the front of his sort of proxy wall back here, his second stone a bit further away. So had DauT scouted a little earlier on, he may have seen that this could have been a good opportunity for a tower rush, and towers are certainly in the meta at the moment, but DauT getting in there a little late with his scout after pushing those deer, and they're going to have to be forced away due to the fact that, of course, TaToH has more health on his scout, and there is a spearman chasing. Perhaps TaToH expecting some scouts from DauT as well. Wouldn't be too uncommon to see that from a Turk player. But right now, TaToH will take a couple of the deer, but did lose a little health on that scout. Taking the time now to wall up the right side, make a nice close base, which is certainly a good position for TaToH to be in. On the other side of the map, you can see a stable up from DauT, and you can certainly see that his map is not looking quite so hot. He has got this gold mine here, his main gold out to the right, on a hill. Quite difficult to protect that, and he's integrated that into his wall as well, so he's going to have a hard time getting on the gold. Fortunately, has got a back gold, has got back stone too, so DauT certainly has enough in the back of his base to keep him going for a while. But opening with scouts right now, obviously off the back of those deer which he pushed in, giving him that flexibility. Could have gone for scouts, could equally have gone for archers, he could have even gone for a man-at-arms play if he desires. But right now, the 4 scouts from DauT grouping in the middle of the map. And what is this? TaToH showing us his hand, not going for scouts at all. He did drop an archery range there, and that's incredibly unusual for the Spanish player. You do not expect to see the Spanish going for archers, but TaToH opening with archers into scouts. It's a little risky, and of course he's made some spearmen to protect at home, but DauT now with the potential to do some damage. TaToH open on the left side, the villagers gathering the deer at the back, but there's 2 spearmen to push DauT away, while TaToH goes on the counter-attack with 3 archers and a couple of spears of his own. DauT's second military building coming down. It's an archery range as well, and this time going into skirmishes here, and it's an interesting choice. Obviously, DauT at the moment not on the gold at all, so skirms to counter the Spanish archers. But he certainly wasn't expecting to see archers coming out from TaToH here, to say the least. And that quick switch into skirms is just fine. But of course, it's interesting because the Spanish don't get crossbow and the Turks don't get elite skirmisher, so they're going for some pretty low tier units right now in this match. DauT coming home though, he knows there are some units around, and TaToH at the moment doesn't have fletching, so these guys perhaps not the biggest threat, but DauT wants to know where he is. He wants to make sure, of course, that his villagers will be safe, and he doesn't know how many archers TaToH has. He doesn't know how many upgrades they have, and he's searching for them right now, but not finding them just yet. TaToH waiting in the wings, and DauT going to send his scout over and spot them, and certainly TaToH trying to be a little sneaky out here in the corner of the map. But it seems to me like with a very small number of units, just 5 units from TaToH, he's kept DauT on the back foot. He's kept DauT very defensive with 5 scouts, 4 skirmishers to deal with an army that is, well, it's tiny right here. He'll send a villager out here on the left side to try and close this off, and of course those archers and spearmen are going to see that as they move to the north side. the villager, trying to trap them in, but TaToH knows what's going on and sends them back. But there are some skirms to head them off, and DauT has a huge army right now. He's got all these units. TaToH really not committing too much to getting aggressive, yet he's still keeping DauT playing so defensive and so much on his side of the map for what is a very small threat, in my opinion. Back at home, TaToH's taken the time now to start to seed down more farms. He's looking for the Castle Age. He's played a very sort of safe, defensive Feudal Age with this tower coming up on the stone to secure that, and with the walls, and now he's throwing down a market, so we're going to be seeing that Castle Age upgrade coming in soon, and I would expect TaToH to be able to pull off a slightly faster castle time. Obviously DauT here did invest into these scouts, and now he's going for skirms as well, which could slow him down just a little bit. DauT actually has quite a lot of farms though, but quickly looking over to the other side right now, he's got the bigger army. You can see that there's a tower here from TaToH protecting those stone miners. Obviously he is thinking about a castle here as the Spanish, and DauT, well, he's only really got one way in. It's through this gap here or this gap here, and there's going to be a rain of arrows firing down upon him, whichever route he decides, if he wants to go in to TaToH's base. He's getting close with the skirms. The skirms don't have the defense upgrade, so although they are tanking a little bit of damage from this tower, they're not that as tanky overall, and they will eventually go down. So far, I think TaToH keeps all of his villagers up for now. Obviously, the low damage output of the skirms not helping, and meanwhile, that tower is laying out the damage as 3 skirms go down, 1, 2, 3 after each other, and DauT is unable to utilize this larger army. In the meantime, TaToH's clicked up to the Castle Age, and he's done so quite quickly as well. A good 30 seconds advantage for him at the moment. That's interesting because he doesn't have as many farms as DauT. If you look over at DauT, he's got tons of farms up right now. You know, he's on 17 farmers. And then when we look at TaToH, he's got 11. That's a 6 farm difference. And yet TaToH has still been able to click up first. And that's most likely due to the fact he's spent very little food on units. He's still made Spanish archers, and it's so interesting because Spanish archers, man, they can't go crossbow. Yeah, they can get bodkin arrow once they get to the Castle Age, but they certainly lack the all-important crossbow upgrade. TaToH first up to the Castle Age. He's nearing up to that 650 stone. Meanwhile, DauT's army basically thrown away here. All those skirmishes going down, and he's willing to sacrifice those as he runs back with the scouts. Now this is going to turn out to be quite a problem for DauT, throwing away all those skirmishers, and now you've got 6 rogue Spanish archers on the loose. Those skirmishers would have been great if they were positioned back at home to defend from these 6 archers. However, they're not, and the archers are moving out across the map. Fortunately for DauT, he is walled, but there's very little he can do with just 2 scouts now, and TaToH, being first to the Castle Age, will be the first to get the castle. Now this is where the game gets interesting. Things start to open up. You've got the Castle Age coming in. You've got this situation now where you're going to have Conquistador versus, well, what? DauT going for a castle of his own. Looks like he's planning to go for the Janissary. Both gunpowder units, both hit very hard, but one has a significant advantage over the other, and that is, of course, mobility. The Spanish Conquistador is on a horse. The Turk Janissary just has little legs to get around the map on, and that is going to be a problem. Now, I was saying about having those skirms back at home. Probably wouldn't matter too much anyway, because TaToH's coming forward here with knights, or a knight. I don't see a second one just yet, but that's enough to break down the palisade, and it certainly take down 2 skirms. DauT has now 2 light cavalry, of course, the Turks getting that free upgrade, but a single knight is enough to deal with all of that, and DauT's response here, a monastery and a camel too. See what he can do as those archers move toward the back. Once again, TaToH coming down to this south area, but DauT with the hill, with a couple of skirms and the light cav, will be able to, well, I assume, shepherd these guys away. With that said, though, the knight comes in. The archers are still alive, and goodness me, the camel goes down as well. So TaToH, with a knight, a single knight, and 6 Spanish archers, not even Bodkin Arrow here is able to take and clean that army from DauT. Now, DauT coming over. He's got a monk. He needs to get the conversion on the knight. TaToH will delete. No conversion for you. Obviously, a converted knight here would certainly change the tide of the battle as DauT comes over with 2 Janissaries, but he's going to lose both of them to the archers. They have the hill bonus to boot, and he'll even take down a monk for his efforts as well. TaToH getting so much value out of these archers as he now moves to focus down on these small number of Janissary, 1 or 2 Janissary, easy pickings even for a few archer units. Focusing now on the villagers up here, and this is what I would call extreme value. 20 kills, 8 deaths, and TaToH still using a feudal unit, a less than optimal unit, but more villagers going down as DauT gets raided over here on the gold. And, well, the Janissary is just too inaccurate. TaToH's army hardly even being touched by these guys. The 3 Janissary firing at the archers, missing 9 out of 10 shots. And nice micro from TaToH there as well to pick off a couple more villagers. And it looks like no more villagers will fall as the final 2 archers get cleaned up here. But DauT hurting now, losing 24 units, killing just 14, and with a 9 villager deficit. I've never said it like that before. It's the first time for everything. 9 villager deficit. So, meanwhile, TaToH going up to a second TC. Now, he's gone for his second TC quite far forward. You know, part of me thinks he probably could have gone up at the back here for the wood. This one, not really covering much. I guess he's got the second stone within reach, but it seems to me like that TC is placed with the wood line in mind. Meanwhile, he's starting to mass up the Conquistador. Now, we've already seen that DauT lost a few Janissary there before to the archers. He's currently rocking with about 13 Janissary. The Conquistador coming in. That should be decent for DauT. If TaToH stands and fights, of course. He won't. He'll run away. And DauT might actually be able to push out here. But again, the mobility of these Conquistador is going to be a real problem. These guys are never going to catch them. And so TaToH can run around the map, strike from left, strike from right. And meanwhile, DauT's just going to be playing catch-up this whole time. He is, however, and you may have noticed this for a little while, he's going up to the Imperial Age. He's going for a fast imp. This is an interesting decision. Now, he didn't have great eco going into the Castle Age. He never dropped down a second TC. Going for a fast imp, interesting strategy. I don't, to be honest with you, know exactly what a fast imp is going to bring him that would give him an edge, because ultimately these Conquistador are now the problem as they get to the back of his base. Again, TaToH abusing this back area, and DauT, after sending his Janissary forward, may just have to bring them back. Interestingly enough, though, TaToH is going to back away. Doesn't feel too comfortable being in there. Perhaps thinks that DauT might have a few more Janissary to defend with this time, and so he's going back. But DauT coming forward now with a castle. This is an aggressive move. TaToH on the left side, bringing his Conquistador home. Does he know that the castle is there? He does. He sees it. He's got that Town Watch upgrade to give him the vision, and he's got a Mangonel here as well, which is not all too common, especially against Janissary, since they pick it off so easily. But there you go. TaToH trying to drop a castle down as well. There are a lot of Janissary here, but TaToH converging now from left, from right. The Mangonel in there as well is going to force these Janissary to have to micro back, allowing those Conquistador to get shots off. And it looks to me like TaToH's focused down on the villagers. DauT getting obliterated on the front lines. It is officially a DauT castle, as all of the Janissary go down, and the GG is called. TaToH gets the game, and with that, he will be victorious. Now, to be honest, when I was watching this from DauT's point of view, I was very interested to see what was going on with TaToH there. And I feel like DauT, you know, probably overreacted a little bit in the Feudal Age to those couple of roaming archers and spearmen. I feel like he could have done more in Feudal. Perhaps a tower rush this game, as much as I hate to say it, perhaps a tower rush this game from DauT could have been a good play to make if he'd have been able to zone off this stone mine. Of course, tower rushing versus the Spanish is always a little bit risky, since the Spanish get faster building, of course, and they can put those towers up in a blink of an eye. But ultimately, the mobility of the Conquistador was DauT's undoing. But long before that, he took huge losses to a small number of Spanish archers, which is what I really wanted to bring the attention to, because you don't see Spanish archers very often, and most people think, well, if they don't get the crossbowman upgrade, what's the point? There's no point even training an archer. But TaToH here proving exactly how and why they can be useful, especially in a matchup like this, when your opponent goes for the Janissary, and those archers just happen to be pretty good at picking off Janissary in small numbers. Now, there was a question before in DauT's chat about, why didn't he go for Cavalry Archer, for example, as the Turks. The Turks have some of the best Cavalry Archers in the game, thanks to their unique technology. Now, the main reason for this is the wood lines. Now, DauT's got a nice wood line over here, admittedly, but it's quite far away from safety, and we saw a couple of times how TaToH was able to get in here and break this wall to go through. Now, DauT had this wood line on the right side, but it was so easily raided from the back side. If you're going for cavalry archers, you really need to have a secure wood line in order to keep the production going. Now, DauT could have gone for a second TC. He could have played a more boom style and kind of gone for the late game. But then you have to ask the question, well, what do the Turks field in the late game versus the Spanish? I think the pressure of the raiding from TaToH would have been very difficult to deal with. And this is why I think maybe DauT would have been a little better going for some more serious feudal aggression. Looked like he was committed for some fast feudal action, starting with scouts, transitioning into an archery range. He could have gone archers, could have continued to go skirms, and then pressured TaToH hard. But in the end, he played a little too defensively, gave TaToH a little bit too much space, and then TaToH could abuse that mobility on the Conquistadors to close out the game. GG from both of these guys, and thank you all so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this game, and as I say, I'm going to have a little more time now that the preparations for ECL are, have all been completed. We're going to get into a bit more of a routine. I'll have some more free space in my calendar, and I'll be able to get some more games done and bring you guys some more high-quality Age of Empires 2 content. Now, with all of that said, there's going to be some huge stuff coming. It's you have no idea. I wish I could just tell you right now. But there's going to be a lot of big announcements over the next weeks and month, and I just can't wait for you guys to hear all about it. So stay tuned. I'll be keeping you all updated with more videos to come, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.